But what I do like is some of these roster moves. Mayan has recently joined this project. If anyone doesn't know him, he's like kind of one of the Argentinian players. He's been a part of all the best like Argentinian squads throughout the ages, but maybe hasn't played at his highest level in recent times. Regardless though, since his addition to Dusty Roots, they've won a LAN against the likes of 9Z. And they've got this far in a tournament, which this is not a normal for Dusty Roots, with Mayan going 1.32 HLTV rating to the good. So even though we might be on a difficult map like Inferno, I'm looking at Mayan, I'm looking at these new additions. I think next, he didn't have a game on HLTV until he joined this project a couple months ago. 19 years old. This Dusty Roots roster went from being pretty uninteresting like 5 months ago to now seriously catching my attention.
We'll kick things off now on the pistol on what we have called the make or break map of Inferno. See which one of these two teams will indeed come out on top. But it's quite interesting because they were supposed to play against each other in Cup number 1. But if you recall, during Cup 1, there were a lot of like tournaments going on, and a lot of teams were kind of like having to forfeit games in order to play other games. And it was quite a intense time. And Dusty Roots had actually forfeit that game. So this is the first time that we're actually seeing them play up against each other. And Will Che opens things up quite nicely. It's Fraguti with a nice little double kill here. Opens up the site. Bomb's going to get planted. Should be a fairly simple post plant, but two players are very low on the HP now, so just a tickle could be what sends them into the Shadow Realm. A little bit of damage done onto Venom's Zera, and I think both players were spotted there, so they are going to have that information drop. How have you gone and done that? Does get traded out, however, so now they can all turn their attention to main here, knowing that there's only one player left alone. It's Cowards, 1 versus 3. That bomb continues to tick. There's not much that he can do here. Playing a bit of containment, trying to get a couple of exit frags if he can. Not going to be allowed, and he's just going to back away with the Kevlar.
A good start to proceedings. Dusty Roots. Fraguti, similar to Next, joined this project back a couple months ago, kind of the predecessor to some of these younger guys. He also didn't have a single game on HLTV before he joined. So Dusty Roots, they're big on the scouting. This is also a reunion of Tomijed and Mayan from long time ago, playing on the likes of Isurus back in 2020, 2021. And they're looking to bring Argentine Counter-Strike back to the top. They've had some very impressive results to get here, like beating Sharks, which I was really impressed with that result. And they picked Nuke into Sharks, which just kind of makes me think, like, why don't they just firm the Nuke pick, you know? Like, they're good on the map. They played it against decent opposition. They always come out on top. But no, it's going to be in a decider. Mirage was a decider in that series, and Dusty Roots won it. So that's actually a very convincing result against a team like Sharks, that they're able to win Mirage. And Red Canids had a pretty difficult day today already, as they've lost to Bounty Hunters. They got knocked out in CCT yesterday. So yeah, not been the best of times so far for them. We look for some redemption. And this Force Buy round ain't going too well, as RZK, Mayan, and Next just cleaning up the bunch.
That was a nasty double kill as well, because it's like two people on opposite sides of the bracket. You just kind of spray and pray from one direction to the other. Double opener. And there was a bit of a force into this one for the Red Canids, as the CTs also want to do. But unfortunately, it has gone utterly awry. I was wondering if maybe the CTs would push here, get cheeky, catch the bomb, and then maybe they're in with a chance. But no, they have to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more slow and decisive. And instead of pushing unnecessarily, they've recovered the FAMAS, and they're just going to hide out until the end of the round. So that goes more or less as to be expected. Dusty Roots now with a nice little kickoff into this one. And as I was saying, so in the first cup, we had quite a few forfeits and so on because of other tournaments happening. And the Red Canids versus Dusty Roots was meant to happen in the upper bracket semi. And then Dusty Roots ended up having to forfeit that game. They then went up against Fluxo in the lower bracket, but they ended up forfeiting that one as well. So clearly quite a lot of clashes, quite a lot of issues happening at that time. Came into cup number 2, and I mean, they got like second rounded, right? Dropped from the upper bracket into the lower bracket on round 1, and then straight from the lower bracket, you know, entirely out of the tournament. So this has been a really solid resurgence from them in cup number 3. It's good to see that they are putting up some better performance. The Red Canids, on the other hand, I mean, they've made these deeper runs in previous ones. In cup number 1, it was actually Bestia who won the cup that knocked them out entirely. But I think in cup number 2, the exact same thing, knocked out by Bestia for a second time. So this has been the best possible opportunity for both of these two teams. And for either one of them to go out here, well, might be a little bit of a devastating blow, but at least we've still got that lower bracket for a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, it's not as much pressure, right? In Europe, we had a do or die Swedish derby. Here, there's maybe... For Red Canids, they just don't want to come third again. At least come second, and then that means in the 4th cup, surely if they've got 4th, 3rd, 2nd, theoretically, bound to win one eventually. This is a good opening kill though for Red Canids in this round. It was a nice little gimmick nade stack on the top of Banana. Cowers is ultimately the one to get the kill onto Tomijed, who's yet to get on the scorecards. But the City side have gamble stacked over towards that B bomb site, remaining 3 players there. And as history falls, Venom Zero with a 5/7 no armor is isolated and alone on this A site. I don't see him 1v4ing.
No. I mean, if you could get one, you know, that pistol can be quite devastating in the right hands, but nope. Not going to be allowed to do that, unfortunately. So there you go. Site overtaken, bomb planted, and the CTs back away. Inferno save simulator back at it again. But Red Canids kind of keep forcing and keep forcing. Thankfully, because of the nature of the economy for the CT side, they are going to, and of course, you know, 3 rounds lost consecutively, they'll actually be able to buy into the next round, look a little bit more robust into that, and maybe stand a little bit more of a chance. But Dusty Root's going to be really happy with a 4 players surviving till the end, to the next round. They're even going on a little bit of a hunt here. Okay, it's partially just running away from the bomb, but it's also, if we can spot out another CT, that would be fantastic. Drop. He's going to be the one to get a nice little exit. He does get dropped on the way out, but a little bit of extra damage. Unfortunately, that's the one decent gun they had, but they were going to buy in anyway, so not the end of the world.
Tomijed, a nuclear strike called him. It's good to see, it's really cool to see Argentine teams do well, because the Argentine scene is seriously growing in Counter-Strike. And it's always been like the younger brother to Brazil, and like Argentinians having to go play in Brazilian teams. So it's really cool to see teams like Dusty Roots and Bestia, full Argentinians, and someone like Sharks who have an Argentine AWPer over an Impact. Luliten's being the world champion, right? So very cool, very cool. But going into our first gun round, over on the B bomb site, there's a little setup concocting. Che is waiting to be flashed in. All this utility is coming in. A lot of util by the T side. And one flashbang has already been flashed by Drop. This is not going to blind Tomijed, and luckily Che doesn't go with it. That little roof you see in front of him, that completely blocks the flashbang, so boosting up is very overpowered. A lot of utility used to get to this point. And the T side, not necessarily committing just yet, but history has been pulled over, and very short-lived. He gets absolutely atomized.
Unfortunately, can't get that AWP shot to connect, and the AWP being dropped here is not ideal by any measure. Now they know that they've taken down the AWP, so they kind of have their run of the map at the moment. They've made a ton of noise over towards top Banana, but interestingly, no rotations just yet from the Red Canids. Seemingly they've got some sort of an inkling, especially because with that smoke down, no push. Now they could be waiting patiently on the other side of the smoke for it to clear before they push out, but we're not going to go, we're not going to risk that. We're not going to start rotating early unnecessarily. And now they should be hearing the signs that, yes, it is going to be the push over towards that A site. The Molotov comes down, slows the bomb in its tracks. But the rest of the team, ooh, looking to get into position. But Cowers from the pit position, managing to get 2. Venom Zero backs him up to get yet another one. The bomb does get planted, but Tomajed's been left all alone. Good for 1, but can't get any more. Venom Zera, really strong round from him.
They had no right in winning that round, Red Canids. And it's just exclusively Cowers and Venom Zera dancing and prancing around Molotovs. And I find it very amusing as well that the A1S is taking first contact for the MAC-10. The MAC-10 is head down, and the A1S is like, no, you're the star player in this round. And to be fair, he was. Venom Zero gets 3 kills, his first 3 in the game, and farms up $1,800, all with the SMG that he picked up in that last round from the T side. Mental stuff that Cowers is able to get 2 while being flushed out. Bomb almost didn't have enough time to go down, but that's Dusty Roots with an opening kill and only 2 players on an A bomb site with no util. That feels like a bit of a squandered round and not a great start to proceedings as we got into the rifles on their map pick.
Great way to start building a little bit of momentum now for the Red Canids, though. And they desperately need to. Looking at the money that they have now, losing this round will put them into dire straits. But of course, the same is true for Dusty Roots. So we go for a little bit of a cheeky play here. Oh, Che getting caught out all the way down banana like that. That's unfortunate. Trying to go set himself up for a bit of a lurk and through all the smokes and stuff, not realizing that there are a lot of reinforcements down there. So the Red Canids now scrambling to reinforce somewhat, moving the different pieces around the map and trying to figure out where these pieces are going to be best put to use. Still have the bomb kind of angling over towards the B site for now. They may choose to back away. They've drawn out a decent smattering of utility over towards Banana, and we're still throwing out more towards Brackets, which is slowly working its way through that CT side util. And we'll start popping up through Brackets. The flash doesn't connect onto anything, and that's good. Means that they can grab that space just about for free. And with all 5 players now grouped up and ready, you have to be careful for this pit position because
there's no Molo for it.
Cowers here. Yeah, you see, that's the scary part, you know. It was Cowers here before that got so much. Ooh, chunky HE, though. Exactly what they need. But Cowers and Drop have repositioned in the perfect position now. Mayan will try to battle back, but it's just clean up.
Maybe the pit player, like, needs the Molo at his feet to thrive? Maybe that's what needs to happen. Big misplay from Venom Zero because there's 2 players on the bomb site. You see he goes for this swing in pit. If he just holds the cross to the bomb site, Cowers Drop will have a 3-man crossfire. So I'm really not a fan of how Venom Zero swings that, especially because no Molos come in. Like, there's no reason to. So he's actually really lucky there that his teammates kind of saved the day. And he seriously could have gone from 0 to 0. But that's another round for Dusty Roots, where they have the man advantage, and then they squander it by going A and getting multi-fragged. Red Canids, just stop dying.
Just don't die, forehead.
Or do. Maybe that's the trick. Like, dive, boom to A, and then kill everyone there.
I thought maybe we'd get something cheeky happening there, but unfortunately, this is a round where you've invested everything into the Deagles and you don't really have any utility. I think they maybe used the 1 flash just to get to the top of Brackets if they did have a flash. I seem to recall a flash. Anyway, either way, don't really have too much else to work with here. So our round goes as expected. A little bit of a spray down. Cowers with another 4K. Casually sitting at 9 and 2 at the moment. He's been a pretty solid anchor, all things considered. You know, in the 1 round, obviously it's taken 3 rounds to get to that point, but round number 4 gets a double kill from Pit. Round number 5, he's on site playing off of Drop, and he gets another, I think, 3K in that round. And then in this one, he's just kind of moved over towards top bracket, and it's another multi-kill. I just keep walking into him, and I mean, if you give him the opportunity, well, he's going to take it.
Some would use the word goated. Nicely done. I'd be scared of that A-bomb site. Personally, that A-bomb site is holding maybe a little bit too strong. And, ooh, it's all falling apart, though. Flash pop into top brackets. Venom Zero lucky to scarper around the corner and get to safety. Issue is he's lost his teammates. There is going to be a rotation from Che, and Venom Zero, he's trying to hold them at bay for as long as possible. But unfortunately, just as he dies, Che comes around the corner, and they're able to transition onto him. From greatness to just falling apart on A.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously in round number 4, you've got Cowards going kind of nuclear with, like, standing in the Molotov and getting more than he realistically should have. I mean, you even saying it, they shouldn't really have won that round, but they kind of pulled something out of the hat. Then very next round, you know, it's a bit of a lower buy from Dusty Roots, and again, it's a really strong, you know, 3-person hold on the site. And in the next round, it's like a deagle round, right? Anti-eco, you're getting a spray down in bracket. They don't have any utility to try to you know, accelerate onto the site. So that kind of goes the way that you expect it to. So that little bit of a streak makes sense after the first weird round win. But then Dusty Roots get guns back in their hands again. They can play a little bit more towards their strengths. They can use some of that utility to flash players out, to take advantage. A little bit of Ferrari swing happening. Maybe Red Canids getting a little bit overconfident off the 3 rounds that they strung together. Bob's your uncle. Dusty Roots have won another round. And thankfully, Red Canids can still buy into this, but again, knife's edge.
Okay. First gun round for Dusty Roots. Very similar play for the Red Canids, flashing their way... Oh, sorry, very similar play for Dusty Roots, flashing their way into top brackets. This time, at around this part, they'd already had 2 kills. So how are they going to deal with getting this map control, both top banana and top brackets? This feels like an unlosable position for the T side when you have just this amount of map control.
Nice chunky nade lands on RZK. Oh my god, Che just runs out again with this boosted position. Cannot be flashed out. And this time around, Che unfortunately does take the bait. The flash comes out, he thinks he's safe, and he's been sat down. They've now given up their position at top banana, and they're going to start... Ooh, okay. I thought the bomb's going to start making its way over towards the A site, but no, they're actually going to push towards B. And B is now being reinforced. Cowards has also made his way into position. So we've got a nice little crossfire set up here, but they can smoke that off. Flash is not connecting. We're playing a good little bout of anti here. Oh, that shot needed to connect, but that's okay. Drop is there to cover it up. Gets a second for himself as well. History won't miss on that one. And only 2 players remain. The unlosable scenario became losable. Bomb is now lost on the B site. And the last 2 players with no time remaining, just chilling.
The anchors for Red Canids are... they're playing above their paychecks right now. They're coming out of this and being like, guys, these riflers are playing pretty good Counter-Strike. It's quite amusing because when I come into a Red Canids game in like the last month or so, since Che Jesus got since he joined from Imperial, a lot of the talking point for me has been him. Right, you know, he's the tier 1 player who's come back. He was disappointed with his results on Imperial. He instantly joins the Red Canids that were struggling to find their identity, and they qualify for a major and start competing once again for the first time in a very long time against the likes of MIBR and those upper echelon teams. He's actually not even the one necessarily playing very well. It's just those anchors who are playing perfect crossfires, they're not getting flustered, and they're neutralizing Dusty Roots. So this T side, 4-4, bit misleading. They've only won 1 gun round. The one they did win was very nice, but that previous round, like, you know, they have all the map control. How are they not delivering a round win off that?
The nerves start to settle in a little bit too much. Give yourself an advantage. You know that things have been snatched away from you in rounds where you had a little less control, so you trying to overcompensate a little bit. Unfortunately, overcook things ever so slightly. Oh, good molly. That could have been a great opener for History, but a return fire from the HE doesn't do quite as much damage as they would have liked. History can now reposition himself. So good control here from top banana for the red Canids. Now they're going to start rotating drop over just in case there's some movement over towards the A site. And indeed, the bomb now does look to be changing directions.
Hold on, just take a look at Banana because History's sticking around with the AWP. And this is really important because the red Cannons have just taken top Banana control and Dusty Roots have taken top Banana control and also have taken away top brackets control from red Cannons. So Drop's currently in a position where he doesn't have any control information on top brackets and he has seen two people top Banana. So he's moved away and Venom Zero and Cow is once again isolated.
Oh, it's a little bit spicy, but Venom Zero and Cowiz have been incredible this time around, however. The Ferrari swings are what's going to finally put them in the ground once again. Bomb's going to get planted fairly easy here. Only a one-player deficit, but unfortunately, it is Inferno. So those last two players, yep, you guys have the site. It's all yours. We'll back away, hold on to our weapons, and Dusty Roots will take the lead once more.
That's really well played by Dusty Roots, actually. Big fan. Could have gone very wrong, though, because all History had to do was just hit that shot when they swung him on yellow wall. But it looked like he had got fidgety, and he had actually started to want to move and peek down Banana. Yeah, very awkward timing. And that's like the main reason why that round probably goes awry, as Drop has got forced away. And Venom Zero and Cowards, like, they have been playing very well, but the position that they were playing together, that crossfire, wasn't for apartments. That's why Venom Zero just gets isolated instantly. It's because they're playing a setup for the run up to site from short. Right? So coming out of apartments, it's way easier for Dusty Roots to isolate those duels in that environment. And that's a really beautifully worked T-side round as they just take away information all over the map and just toy with those rotations to their favor.
Yeah, a handful of rounds left here. Somehow both of these teams have been managing to keep scraping buys together since about round 7. It's been very back and forth, and both of them kind of struggling to get a solid footing into the round. So Dusty Roots not wanting to lose the lead that they've managed to garner for themselves here. Raguti will rush through that Molotov. Oh, and it's going to be Tomajed to get the first opener here, but Che trades it out. Unfortunately, Tomajed gets caught a little bit out of the way. Separated from his team. The smoke does allow them to regroup. A 1-for-1 trade. The T's will be relatively happy with that one. And there's still over a minute left, so they can just sit and kind of wait for this smoke to clear. Man tucking himself into the same corner where Tomajed was caught out earlier. Is this thought of? Is this predicted? Is it really going to matter as History gets the kill onto the potential lurk? So next 7 is offline. Only 2 of the T's remaining up towards top Banana, as RZK is still kind of stuck around a little bit, still trying to sell that maybe it's still this A hit. Maybe, just maybe, this is where we're going to continue to angle. With all this utility coming out over on towards the B site, all the red Canids are not going to be buying what Dusty Roots are selling. Cowards and Shay in tandem get that kill onto Mayan, and now Fraguti, last one left alive, bomb in hand, does actually manage to get a kill onto Cowards. So should be able to plant, taps the bomb to bait out a swing. Thankfully, Che is playing this that little bit more carefully. History from all the way backside gets the kill onto RZK. That causes some paranoia for Fraguti, and he'll walk straight into Che's crosshair. Got a little bit hairy towards the end there, but red Canids keep it clean.
What's actually quite unfortunate for Fraguti in that round is that I don't think he realizes how much space he's been awarded, because red Canids, they were not rotating until they saw that bomb. They were like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We ain't rotating until we know that it is a B or A hit. So they held their ground, and it gave Fraguti a lot of space to work with. Overall, though, the poking and prodding doesn't succeed for Dusty Roots as they go into the penultimate round of this half, fully investing. This is a big brazen call because if this goes wrong, they're not going to have any money for the final round. 3 players towards B, and for Gucci, very unfortunate to not get that opening kill as Red Canids were caught in transition of, we're going to take banana, but then we see that they're close, so we're going to disengage, but then they're so close that we've been caught disengaging in no man's land, and honestly, that should have been an opening kill for Dusty Roots.
It's a tale as old as time. An opening frag that can't quite turn itself into anything more. Can't quite be traded on. Can't quite be capitalized on. We'll start moving our way over towards the A site now. Smoke towards the library. Oh my god. Smoke what smoke? An HE to clear, history to get that first opener. And again, that causes Dusty Roots to take pause. Where do we go from here? There was an idea that maybe they'll pivot over towards the B side through the CT spawn. Now history's been caught out. Now there's a fighting chance. Tomajed with a double kill makes it that little bit more contestable, and he just keeps going. He just keeps getting kills. Finally will be put to rest. But Next 7 is all alone, and all he's got is a deagle. Doesn't even have the bomb. It's still on the site. May yet be able to recover, but with 2 rifles aiming down sights at him, dear lord, he picked up the rifle but gets the dink with the deagle, and it's down to a 1 versus 1. Che has been heroic in a lot of these situations, but does get spotted out, and he will maintain the streak of heroics. 5-5 now is our scoreline. Orb should be recovered, the bomb to be defused. Dusty Roots, every time they find an advantage, Red Canids clap back.
Real battle of experience versus youth there between Next, the guy who's recently picked up for Dusty Roots, not a HLTV game on record prior to him joining the organization. Che, played at multiple majors for the best teams in the region. Very amusing to see that come up against each other. But Red Canids, ultimately, it's them converting a 5v4. Even though it got a little bit difficult towards the bomb site, it did take heroics once again from Anchors, but that round was only possible because Tomajed got a triple opener and Next hit a crazy deagle shot. Like, that was a Red Canids round through and through, and they just got multi-killed. But they still won it out anyways, and with their usual CT start, Kawes dropping Util over towards B, and now then pivoting his way over towards the A bomb site. Red Canids, they look very eager to take control here, and they're going to be meeting a MAC-10 who somehow crept between the Molotovs and a 2-man advantage early on. Drop, he's been sold. Che has just left him. How is Drop alive, and why is his teammates just completely abandoned him?
Sold right down the river, it seems. Che is so desperately low HP now, so has to play a little bit safer, has to rely a bit more on the rest of the teammates. The Traces come through the smoke, so Kawes has an inkling. Doesn't want to get shot through the smoke by Tomajed and hand over the advantage that they've somehow managed to fight tooth and nail to garner. A 7th round here would be exceptional for the Red Canids, particularly granted how this map started off. So we'll slow down a little bit now. There's still a little bit of time remaining for the Dusty Roots, but we're getting close to the time where we need to pull the trigger. Throw out some smokes, one towards library, one towards connector. Oh, it's too deep. Ugh, Venom Zera's just like walked straight through it, managing to reconvene on the site here. Venom Zera, it's not Kawes this time that's holding the line with him. It's history with that AWP.
That's a good molo.
It's going to slow things down massively. The smoke to come through. The history's already gone down, but Venom Zera, the anchor activates. Can't quite get the 3rd, but Nexa, 2 HP and a dream. Got the bomb plant, but now has to fight tooth and nail. Happy feet galore. Gets the kill onto Che. Position now known. Kawes going really slowly. Gives Nex a lot of time to reposition. A lot of time to think about what the next move is going to be. Kawes does have a kit on board, so he can afford to take this a little bit slower. 2 flashes as well to set him up. Looking to see where he is. Must have spotted him out. The kills to come through. Do they? Oh my god. Somehow the craziest clutch imaginable, but it takes us to a 6-6 half, not the 7-5.
An impeccable 1 versus 2 for the youngster. Next grabs victory from the jaws of defeat in the final round of that first half. Makes it look a little bit more contestable for Dusty Roots. After a 3-0 start from the pistol round, they seriously struggled to maintain success when the rifles came out, but individual heroic plays are going to serve a big purpose, as now on their map pick, they go onto the defense and will look to double down on pistol round 1.
Love a close affair, especially when we weren't entirely sure how the series was going to go, and we also said the series kind of lives and dies by this map. So this certainly adds some excitement to it. Now Dusty Rose is desperate to try and pull this over the finish line, because you were saying, Red Canids, very unlikely that they're going to lose Mirage. And maybe the Dusty Roses are somewhat aware of that themselves. Smokes come out. Molotov, just to try and flush some of the positions, make these checks a little bit more easy to deal with. The flash as well buys them a little bit of time. How Fragudi still is able to get one is beyond me. They've left RZK for a little bit too long. Does eventually get traded out, but it's down to a 3 versus 3 now. The bomb has been planted. Suppressive fire just to deter any sort of cheeky shenanigans here. Ooh, did he spot the shoulder? Must have done. Starts to jiggle just in case, expecting the swing to come through. Hasn't yet. Playing the patient game. Oh my god, brother. That's outrageous. After an incredible clutch in the last round of the first half, is left drop all alone now to pick up the pieces. They're on the bomb. They're defusing. He knows where it is. He's managed to stop the defuse. This is insane. They don't have a kit. There's no way. He's done it. He's done absolutely.
There's no time.
Has he? Isn't there? Maybe? No. Oh, man. We've seen a lot of last second diffuses. I was hoping, man. I was hoping for the last second, but no. He did just enough there by taking out the planter.
Really good, really good awareness there from Drop in that clutch position to realize, okay, if I bypass these players and just fully deny the bomb being defused, boom, I win out the round. That's my only chance. Not fighting through each component by itself. So for Red Canids, kind of saved by Heroics there. Heroics going both ways, I suppose. But from the frying pan into the fire, as Dusty Roses, they're purchasing back in. And Mayan, who's had a pretty slow game, he's had a fantastic tournament, and is going to probably be the piece that elevates this Dusty Roots roster. But so far in this high-octane game, he really hasn't come up to play. But with the scout, there's a nice start as he tags Che down.
Looking forward to seeing Cowers' prowess here on this T side. Saw what he was capable of as a hard anchor. Sitting at 13 and 8 at the moment, so has had crazy amounts of impact throughout this series so far, throughout this map. I suppose series is still young. Still opportunities to do some more crazy things. Already gets that opener onto Fraguti. Unfortunately, does get traded out very quickly. But now they know there's a decent little bit of reinforcement on towards this site. So what is the call here? Interesting to me that Mayan is actually pulled back all the way over towards the A side. They're expecting maybe it's a bit of a fake. You know, they only spotted out the one player, so he's all the way on the other side of the map now. The util's going to start to come through. No follow-up just yet. They only have the one flash. They're going to have to time it perfectly or just not use it at all. They just run straight out onto the side. Venom Zera trying to keep it into a doable situation and has done just that. Gets both kills on the side. Bomb to be planted. Mayan with the scout. Thankfully, they're squishy targets, and there's only one remaining, and he will, of course, put him into the grave. A nice little defuse to come through here. Lost the pistol. That's okay. We'll win the force and reset the economy.
Super messy on the execute right there. Flashes did come in, but they didn't blind either of the dark player or the close oranges. It was for a flash that landed in front of CT, so ordinarily should get the majority of players, but if you're tucked like that, it won't affect them. And just really insane anchoring coming down. We were praising Red Canids for their ability to lock down bomb sites. Well, got to give the kudos when deserved to Dusty Roots. So they lose the 3v1, but hey, Mayan's already stepping up as well with the scouts. The Orpa, not quite going to be on his primary weapon just yet, but Che in that last that was in the 1v2 was actually the player who got originally tagged up at the start of the round. So Mayan, really good impact in that round, and you can see a bit of confidence starting to brew for him now as he's going for these picks towards middle.
And realizing that it's likely to have been an idea for a possible Tech 9 rush or a pistol rush or something to that effect. So we've laid down a lot of early utility to slow things down. The flashes come out, they don't connect. Mayan cosplaying Cowers a little bit here, managing to get a double, not too much more, unfortunately. And with him being run over, that'll hand over
damage.
One weapon. A lot of damage. He's made them incredibly squishy. So this is going to be easy cleanup. Venom Zero with the one rifle in hand now. Oh, there we go. I was waiting for that to activate, and so it has. But players today have been having a little bit of a tough time. My God, Venom Zero, how are you doing this? Trying to play anti, not quite landing it. Venom Zero with a third in the round and continues to just be a thorn in the side. Which is apt. Surely he doesn't push for this, though. Like, surely you just back away at this point. Yeah, 100%.
Crazy round. It's the fact that isolates the pit player and then knows there's going to be a rotation from library. and red Canids don't get the kill and accelerate, they get the kill, get into short, and then freeze, wait for the rotation, isolate that rotation, and then also flash their way in. I'm looking at a round like that, and I'm thinking, why couldn't you do that over towards the B-bomb site? Like, that was such a clinical round that was pretty masterful. Why couldn't they just do that in the second round? Either way, that is a ridiculous... A ridiculous round from Venom Zero in isolation, but also just that those three play that perfectly in tandem. They are all on the same page. No one has miscommunication. No one has the wrong idea. And okay, sure, Fraguti does save the A1S, but Red Canids, if that's the type of rounds they're going to be pulling out on the T side, I'd be pretty scared.
We're only a couple rounds in, and already things are starting to look a little bit scary. Dusty Rose is still okay into this round with weaponry, but obviously it's going to take a little bit more than that. Bring things back under their control. They had a super cheeky round 2. What does concern me is that obviously that last round was very much down to, you know, heroics from Venom Zera. Not to say that you can't rely on him to do that. He has been doing it fairly consistently. I've been very impressed with him today, but it's not the way you want to be winning the rounds. However, with it be having been an eco, you know, if somebody can go absolutely nuclear, then thank God for him. Man deserves a raise after that one. All right, we flashed up into brackets. Check both angles, nothing here, space garnered. And we can start to move a little bit closer. They have to respect their own smoke a little bit. You never know if somebody's kind of snuck up behind it. Fraguti's waiting. He's checking these angles. That library smoke's going to do nothing for him. Playing a little bit of anti just in case they try and flash him out of position. They haven't done that. Oh, there we go. The flash comes out a little bit later. He's been spotted from apartments. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Now he's got something to deal with. But on the fadeaway, he's still able to get one before he's eventually felled. The MP9 on site, not able to get anything done, really. And now they just run straight over the remaining forces. Bomb planted, and Tomajed, if he could get a little bit of damage done here, that would be quite nice. But seems to be a little bit unreasonable. Elbow spotted. Not going to be much longer for the world. And the Canids go up to 9.
And also it breaks the economy of Dusty Roots. I keep on thinking Dusty Roses because of the women's team, yes. Dusty Roses. Even though Dusty Roots is the name of the organization, Dusty Roses is like the kind of the name given to the women's team, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Always is like Freudian slip, right? I'm always about to say Dusty Roots. Got it. But 4 players on the A-bomb site, and they aren't able to get really any traction. Sure, there's low weaponry, but Fraguti takes very isolated duels. And that is going to be a worrying sign now for the defense as Red Canna is starting to gain some momentum. They dropped the ball momentarily, but very swiftly picked back up that pace. And you've got to make sure that in this anti-eco, they don't lackadaisically walk into this Astrala stack. They have got the Mac 10 of Che starting to scout and cower over towards the A-bomb site. This flashbang, Cowers is going to take a little dip his toes in the water. And the issue with Che going CT here is I would like the Mac 10 to clear out space so then get the information for then the teammates with the rifles to work upon. Che hasn't got really any information of like what's what. And the rifles are actually the first, and they see the Astralis stack now. They all shout, okay, it's Astralis, and Che is behind them. So slightly amusing. And it actually ends up going perfectly to plan as the Mac 10 farms up $1,800 and they only lose him. So you know what? It's all good. And Dusty Roots are just a bit like, he's behind us.
The Che is coming from inside the house, unfortunately. Yeah, this is.
I'd actually be mega confused. I'd be so confused if I start being shot in the back by a Mac 10 there.
I don't know, man. Like, it is a bit wild, but at the same time, like, you know, you had all 5 of your players in the same space, looking at the same area.
I don't know Yeah.
It's a tough one. No matter how you slice it. It's a bit of a rough one.
It doesn't really
Double
matter. It's
digits
just
now.
an eco.
Yeah. Goes pretty much as expected. My God, Cowers, how do you keep doing shit like that?
Issue is he just gets instantly traded, so it's actually a really negative opening kill because leaves him in a position where he can't really do anything in this round. Next, lucky to get away with his life though. Che tries to catch him out as he throws that utility, so he forces out the util and also forces Next out of position. The T side is going to congregate now. And looks like they're going to head over towards this A bomb site. Ample enough of util. And there's nothing really on the other side. Mayan's the only player who's got anything. He's got a Molo. He can drop it, but that's about it. And this side, they have to get proactive. And they're going to try and catch players off with their util. But Drop, he's ready and waiting.
Dusty Roots still have a chance here. I realize I think I've been calling them Dusty Roses the whole night. You pointed it out and I was like, oh yeah, you... Oops. Let's see if the Dusty Roots can make some magic happen here in the dying embers of this round. Less than 30 seconds remain. There we go. The pop up through apartments. The first kill garnered. Little bit of damage. I say a little bit, quite a lot of damage actually. In the library position, pops off beautifully. Only 2 players left. RZK is unstoppable. He is inevitable.
Bombs apps.
He's bought enough time. The bomb is so far away. There is no time whatsoever. It would have to be a win by elimination. And Dusty Roots are like, nah, we're not giving those kills over for free. Somehow, Dusty Roots managed to pull this one out.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised they do. And that's just Kawes getting a very inefficient opening kill in B. And this just very sloppy execute. Just popping a flash out of apartments. There's much better ways to throw utility. Running with a flash down out of apps is just really silly and feels very mundane. Probably should know better than that at this stage. So Dusty Roots, a very easy man disadvantage situation 1 on the A bomb site. So it is their first proper gun round on the board, but it doesn't come for free. A big cost of their economy. So even though they've won, they're not out of it just yet. And Mayan needs to be careful. Hard cleared, but he's still able to get one before he drops. RZK is very quick. Smoke, he's going to peek ahead of it, but History is ready and waiting. And Next just by himself on this bomb site, but he's going to meet his maker, meet a similar fate to his teammates. And Red Canids, they turn up the heat and start to roast Dusty Roots.
Damn. Venom Zero gets himself up to 17 as well. Between him and Cowers, it's just been absolute bloodbath in so many of these rounds, and the two of them are doing so much to just keep that tide ticking over for the Red Canids, keeping them very much in control of the situation here. Every now and then Dusty Roots is able to scrape around together, but unlike what we saw in the first half where we could kind of keep forcing through, keep kind of trying to bring those buys out because we're going so back and forth, this time around it's not the case, and Dusty Roots often finding themselves in a little bit more of a unfortunate scenario. Can't do much to fight back now. No utility available for them, so they have to play either have to play hyper aggressive or they have to play like almost full retake. And unfortunately, with so limited options, for a second there I thought that smoke had already dissipated, but no, it does manage to get out towards the other side of brackets. The smokes come through. Now they're going to try and go for the banana push, but oh, 2 players here just shutting that down perfectly, and it's all going to come down to one man standing in apartments, has already been spotted and is being hunted down, and it's a 12th round for the Red Canids. Map point now.
Yeah, this is looking very worrisome for the Dusty Roots, as this is supposed to be their map pick. I would have really just liked them to go for their gut and go onto a nuke. Dust 2 wasn't a possibility due to it being instantly banned out by the Red Canids, but it's just going to get very difficult as Mirage comes up next to play. Dusty Roots do have one final hurrah on this round with the rifles, but if this doesn't go in their favor, I expect a 2-0 to be brewing.
Dusty Roots have really struggled on the second half here, unfortunately. Only 2 rounds under their belts.
One a force buy.
Yup. It was a cheeky force. Worked out really well for them. It was magic, actually, but needed to turn into something more. Couldn't quite make that happen. Still, it's only 4 rounds to get us into OT. Certainly doable, but not if they kick off the round like that. Yes, they do get that opener, but an instant trade puts them in a very disadvantageous position.
Smoke. Ooh, it just about covers. Yeah, okay, but they're just going to go straight through it. Doesn't matter. Tomajed on the bomb site. The teammates flashing each other. The T side, the entries are crisp and clean. Still, though, a 3 versus 3. We find ourselves in a state of equilibrium. Issue is, because of the pace that Red Canids took onto this bomb site, Dusty Roots are so far away, and they don't have a kit. Mayan's still shifting down mid, for God's sake. This is going to be very challenging, and just because of time.
I feel like challenging is an understatement at this point. Continues to tick away. They don't have a kit either. So they really do have to just kind of hit the accelerator a little bit. Too concerned about the possibility of being held for. There's still a smoke in his way. Venom Zero is still alive. And when he's alive, it's certainly winnable. And there you have it, sports fans or esports fans. 13-8 in favor of Red Canids on the Dusty Roots map pick. Not the way they wanted this series to start, and it looked so good in the first half.
It's one of those weird ones where this feels like very CS2, where the scoreline's super misleading. I never lost his easing out. They actually got a proper AWPer. They brought in this super experienced Che, and he's just in that environment thriving.
Well, now we're going to be heading on over onto the Red Canids map pick of Mirage. You were saying a little bit earlier on, you don't really think that the Red Canids are going to lose on this one. So what do we think the win condition is here for Dusty Roses? Do we just not think they have a chance?
Hopes and prayers. I mean, Dusty Roots, they have actually got some pretty good wins over the likes of Sharks in this very tournament, and in a decider, and also Crew on LAN, a fellow Argentinian side. They've brought games close on LAN against Imperial, which is very admirable, and also Fluxo in other ESL Challenger events. So it's not like they're bad on this map, but if there is a main win potential or factor, I have to be looking at Mayan. I have to see more from him, and Tomajed keeping up the form that he did deliver, but maybe more consistently. Anyways, Red Canids on the T side. That is so crisp. That is so clean from Venom's era. And just like that, Dusty Roots hit the ground. They bounce off as it's flawless for Red Canids.
I mean, that's exactly how you wanted it to start, right? And if it was going to be anybody, probably going to be Venom Zera. Nice little opener there for him. And the really impactful thing I think about that, you know, you were talking about all the opening kills from, was it Cowes? Yeah. And the problem is that he so often would get a kill and then just kind of get traded out, right? And that's not as impactful as you'd like it to be, particularly when you're on the CT side. So I think the real value that comes in with Venom Zera is the fact that he can get those opening kills and then he can just keep going, get more of them, and not end up instantly dead. It does make a massive difference, especially now on this T side, getting as much of an advantage as you possibly can. So this time around, the Red Canids Dusty Roots not opting for a force up into this round. That was the Red Canids in the previous map. I mean, when I say not forcing, they're going for the pistols and utility rather than going for SMGs and limited utility, right? It's always that little bit of a toss up here, but you want to try and stem the tide a little bit if you can, try and buy some time on the clock, and then hope to high heaven that those Deagles are going to get the results you want.
Well, the force buy, unfortunately, not off to the best of starts as Tomajed dies in window. And this B split, I mean, it has been read into in essence. Mayan's already rotated over. There are 3 Deagles here, but that's kind of the operative word. There's 3 Deagles. They've got no utility. They're just being split between the fire and the flames, and Red Canids. They make it look so easy, and everyone's just firing on all cylinders. God bless history. He's yet to get a kill, unfortunately. But that's actually the first kill for Dusty Roots in this whole map for Fruguti.
Jeez. I mean, we're only 2 rounds in. You know, it could be...
It could be worse, but it just shows how dominant these opening 2 rounds have been. That it's just like pistol, boom, conversion. Didn't even matter that they forced up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, I was saying, right, so they went for the pistol force with a little bit of extra utility, but they used that utility so early on that when it came to the exec to trying to slow that down or garner themselves any sort of, advantage, they already used it all. Venom Zero now trying once more to continue being that tip of the spear. Spots out one, but shots don't quite connect. That's going to call rotations over very early on. But Cowards, yes, they're watching for him, but I mean, it's a Galil versus a pistol. What are you going to do, man? You're going to have to be really clean with it. And unfortunately, Cowards has been on form today. Not going to allow that one to happen. One player does get spotted out towards bench. You can't be doing that. Okay, I thought it was the Tech 9. It wasn't. It's a double Molotov kill, of all things. And then we close things out by Venom Zero, who gets a 3K in the round. Magic.
Fraguzzi also gets another kill. He's still the only player to get a kill on Dusty Roots as Red Canids. They have made this early phase of Mirage super clean. And the reason why I was so high on them is that their Mirage is super legit. LAN wins over MIBR, Fluxo, MIBR in different LANs, 2Game, who made the previous ECL finals. I am a big fan currently of this Red Canids side on Mirage specifically. They did have a big misstep the other day against Bounty Hunters. They lost in an overtime. They got knocked out of CCT because of that. That's a really kind of like worrying result in my opinion. That shouldn't really be happening, losing to Bounty Hunters like that, but they have bounced back performance-wise today already, as quite clearly seen.
Proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say. We had to wait and see for ourselves. No, I would love some pudding. There's a chocolate sitting next to me that has been sitting there, but if I eat it, it's going to mess up my vocal cords, so I have to just sit here and stare at it and lament the fact that I can't eat it.
Chocolate messes up vocal cords?
Yes, sugar. It adds phlegm to the vocal cord. Oi! Che, double swung on. Unlucky. Was not expecting the double push out of Palace. That's going to leave things a little bit spooky for the Canids, but they're still angling towards the site. Well-placed flashes. That's going to allow Tomajed to get a double. All right, then. That's also the bomb. So, good luck, have fun. I'm seeing parallels to our previous map.
Yeah, you can kind of already see it starting to evolve a little bit. Tomajed, a beautiful hold. An exhibition of true class. And Dusty Roots, that's a signal that they're not just going to roll over and accept defeat just yet. So they're going to keep it contestable for the time being. Which is a valiant step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Red Canids, though, they're going to take a small little tactical pause and I think technical pause. But that is, that is a great hold coming out. That is one of those performances, one of those rounds where it's like, okay, that gives us something to believe in a little bit more.
It's obviously important to pay attention to if that can be replicated, because obviously a lot of that comes off of, so you've got the double aggression into Palace, and then you've got this amazing flashbang that Tomajed actually, the fact that he gets 2 there is kind of crazy. I mean, the first one, fair enough, but the second, it felt like that should have been a trade. So it's these kind of like a couple of stellar moments that just align perfectly. And you need more than that to start building up that little bit of momentum. But like I said, it is a little bit reminiscent to what we saw earlier on Inferno. The first 3 rounds go one way, and then it very quickly turns back around. And again, a lot of that comes down to the effect on the economy and how, what kind of detriment that could potentially put a team into. Now for Dusty Roots, they still come into this round with a full buy because they did, you know, they had quite a bit of a loss streak bonus before they actually won that round. So they had started to build up a little bit here and there. This is going to be an important one to win, and already the exec has come through thick and fast, and despite that, they're still managing to connect that all-important kills. Unfortunately, the trade backs are just that much better. Last two players alive now. Oh, I thought they would just pull back, to be honest, but no, we're gonna give this a go. We're gonna give it a chance at Unity and see if we can make some magic happen here. The Molotov forces him back. That will stem this aggression just that little bit more. We keep pushing. We keep trying to make something happen. Mayan watching for the main avenue now. Oh, that's unfortunate. Drop spots out the first, and it's now just the final kill through the box with the Deagle, and it's a 4th round for the Red Canids. They will not allow that momentum to slip away.
That actually feels a little bit rough for the Dusty Roots, because I actually quite liked their original hold. I thought they were going to be able to hold on a little bit more sturdily, but outside of those opening 2 kills that came from Fraguti and Mayan, it actually tumbles and falls away quite drastically. That was quite a disappointing appearance from them, and that's an even more disappointing opening kill to be given away. RZK yet to get on the scoreboard. He hasn't really had that much of a prolific time in this series as a whole, and Red Canids just kind of running away after that one heroic moment from Tomajed.
Losing a player so early on, certainly going to give the Dusty Roots a little bit of pause here. I do like the advanced position from the MP9, but you can see that there's definitely an inkling that that might be happening. Venom Zera, he's just always so aware. 8 and 2 at the moment. That's okay.
He gets away, and that's like, oh, probably should have hunted him down. But that's safety, the fact that they know they've been able to force that back at least, at a minimum.
They've garnered that space back, so now they can push their way through apartments. A little bit of damage done here. Oh, Mayan, a beautiful shot. The MP9 sings, but Shay is there to bring it back. Make it a little bit more doable. It's 2 versus 2 on the site. The bomb is rotating off. 30 seconds remaining. It's certainly doable, but they must have heard that rotation because we're already seeing the CTs pull away, start to refocus their attentions over towards this A site, and Drops called it, and he's like, hey guys, you know, there's some space here. We've got an opportunity.
I'm
watching for mid. They are slowly but surely running out of time. They're going to have to get onto the site as quickly as possible.
Haven't cleared ramp.
Body block yourselves. Okay, they've cleared. Connected though, but yes, Fraguti still in a primed position. Now, time, it's a factor. It's a problem. It's over.
Oh no,
that's unfortunate for Drop. Yeah, but you know what? They won the round, Dusty Roots, so they're feeling really good about how that one went.
Yeah, Dusty Roots are gonna feel very validated, especially because they made the right call. They made that right gamble stack, and I don't hate the idea for Red Canids to disengage in the position that they were in. But there must have been some sort of miscommunication with how many players had actually rotated over towards that B bomb site, because it feels like there was never an inkling that Fraguti could be in ramp. So even though there were the majority towards B, maybe they counted and got the head count a little bit hokey pokey. So a pretty disappointing round once again for Red Canids to be throwing away with. And on top of that, their economy is also not that great. Like, if they had just gone out B, I'd say they'd probably win that round. If Drop hadn't just lurked through A, they probably would have just won if they'd just gone up short, gone through apps, and not overcomplicated things. So now they're going to have to make it work on this pretty awkward low purchase.
Still have a 2-round lead, though, so not feeling terribly uncomfortable just yet, but yes, losing this round is going to put them in a bit of a tight spot, and then that will even out the scoreline. So if they want to keep that momentum going, this is going to become an important one to win out yet again. Dusty Roots playing this fairly passive. They've given over early kills a couple more times than they would have liked. So instead of giving away free duels, do a little bit of poking and prodding, try and get some early information before we actually do anything. Timing on the utility here. Waiting for that 1 minute mark, throwing up those smokes once more. B site relatively empty. There are eyes on it, so we're going to play a little bit more of a retake scenario towards B. Smoke's going to smoke off the window. They're going to be able to pop through apartments. The Nex is all alone now.
Oh
my god, the smoke comes up at just the perfect moment. I'm not entirely sure how Drop gets that kill, but you know what? I don't think he really cares. The fact is, he's added an extra kill to the tally and then another just to add insult to injury. And at that point, well, Dusty Roots are forced to retreat. I mean, I was not expecting the Red Canids to come out on top of this round in such a dominant fashion. But so they have 4 players remaining on the tail end of it. And oh my god, they're going for a hunt. They want to get cheeky with this. They want to take that AWP away if they possibly can. They've already made their way all the way up into Palace. They've taken out the rifle, and it's all about that AWP. And yes, shots connect straight to the dome. The Red Canids 4 alive at the end of this round. Unreal.
Unreal. Considering what they actually brought into that round and what they take out of it is very impressive. Going for this hunt is very ballsy, I will say, considering that, yeah, they didn't exactly have much to work with. Like, they didn't have money in the back pocket to go, hey, worst comes to worst, we can just delve into that. So it's a very ballsy play, but it's high risk, high reward. They eliminate any worry of a Dusty Roots purchase into this next round, take away the AWP, and also just straight up in that next gun round, in round 9, Dusty Roots aren't going to have an AWP. So nothing for Mayim, who's really struggled. I got to continuously highlight him that I'm a little bit disappointed in what I've been seeing. Like, he's kind of one of these names that you recognize from the South American region, from those Argentinian rosters, from Isurus, from Bestia. And yet right now he's just never stepped up. Great entries in the last round for Red Canids. They don't overcomplicate things, and that's kind of where they make up their mistakes and atone for their sins.
You talk about not stepping up. I mean, the Dusty Roots are certainly struggling.
I mean, they are the worst team, lesser team. Like, they are underdogs. So I think they have overperformed quite a bit in this tournament with some of the wins and also some of the lack of bigger opponents. Like, you know, beating Sharks was great, but outside of that, there haven't been some of those top level teams from the region. And that's why I think like Red Canids are going to thrive in this environment, because where they've been beaten before is against, you know, the likes of MIBR, Bestia, etc. So they don't have that opposition, and that's why they should be looking to secure that regional final, where this is probably their best opportunity. Ooh, actually, call it the invites got sent out already for number 4. Let's take a cheeky look at who's accepted from South America.
I didn't even realize that it happened yet. That's very exciting.
Yeah, they happen. Well, they have to be announced, but it's the month before, so when they get announced and decided, it also is Odic, Bestia, Sharks, 9Z are the headline names.
I know Dusty Roots are apparently in because of ESEA, so they'll at least be in the next one.
They are in the next one.
Yeah.
No Red Canids, so if they do want to make it through to the regional finals, it's imperative that they succeed here, and so far they're making a pretty good case as to why they should make their first grand final. However, over-accelerating towards B, it's a ruse though. The bomb's out A, so even though that B hit got squandered, the bomb's gone down on A.
It's been one of the biggest hijinks of all time. And it's a 3 versus 2 as well. So as much as they've done so much to try and reinforce that B site, they kept it contestable. Maybe if the bomb had been there, maybe this is a winnable round, but it's all smoke and mirrors. Bomb gets planted. They've also got a late lurk that could potentially come in here. Oh, making a lot of noise. No. Here we go. We hold the line. Wait to see if we can get an extra kill on the tail end of it. Dusty Roots are going to be able to avoid most of that. That's a little bit unreasonable, I feel like. Maybe not unreasonable. I want to say unfair, but it's not about fairness. You know, you've got to be savvy. You've got to be keeping your eyes open for every eventuality. And unfortunately, like, they get caught out.
It's a bit mental that play. Like 20 seconds in and they're already like, okay, so the orb's going to get an opening kill towards B. Then we're going to fake it, but we're actually going to go A. Like that's actually a pretty mental call to do and do it with such vigor and such confidence. But hey, if there's one thing Red Canids shouldn't be lacking right now, it is that confidence. As another gun round goes the wayside for the Argentinian squad and time is running out. This is the upper bracket, so they do have a second chance where they'll be playing up against Gaming Gladiators, who also have been in some pretty decent form and have some obviously pretty high level names with the likes of Barton, Neckers, Jota, and they did really well at one of the recent open lands. They came fourth, which for them pretty good if you consider they got knocked out by Imperial and Odic. Like they took some pretty big names down with them on that way. Beat 9Z.
Ooh, spicy.
On LAN.
Lanimals.
Beat 2 game on LAN. Lanimals, that was my first LAN ever mix name.
Of course it was. Nerd. I feel like everybody's been on a team called Lanimals that played at a LAN at one point or another.
I thought
it almost feels like a light of.
I haven't seen. I thought I was pretty unique. Not gonna lie.
Really? I don't know. It almost feels like a rite of passage.
Lanimals?
Though to be fair, maybe it's just because like in South Africa we're so far behind everyone else that like somebody will name themselves that and it's like, oh, everybody's doing it, but no, we're like, you know.
I think the best one was Amanek Kill Myself.
Damn, all right.
Playing up against Amanek on LAN.
Wow. Fair bit of damage done here by the Dusty Roots.
I think it'd be a bit more than damage.
Canids? History? Can we bring this back? Time? A factor?
Oh my god.
Oh, 4 seconds there. He doesn't have
time.
That's it. He's got to win by elimination, and Fraguti's just going to chill. Well, that round went terribly awry while we were talking about Lanimals.
Yeah, this is so just kind of like typical of what we've seen so far. Like, those shots are actually kind of ridiculous, seeing how Next got 2 of his 3 kills in that round on the Deagle. But like, it's just so typical, right? Dusty Roots, you look at the 8 they got in Inferno, and it's like, okay, they got 3 at the opening, and then they got 5 rounds outside of the pistol round, none of them in consecutive manner, and 2 of them on Force Buys, and 1 was a clutch. This is literally what's happening right now. Like, that's exactly what's happening for Dusty Roots. They're not winning any rounds in consecutive manner, and they're doing so on force buys. But when it actually comes back to these gun versus gun rounds, Red Canids lock in a little bit more. And I guess the hope for Dusty Roots, though, is they do want to contend going into that second half, is if they're able to just simply put, win 2 rounds in a row, which is something they haven't been able to do since the guns have come out, since the beginning of this series.
I mean, unfortunately, if Dusty Roots don't win the next 2 rounds, I don't have high hopes for their T side. I think we kind of need to call a spade at this point, and we're in a little bit of a dangerous spot at the moment. See now as Cowers swings around the corner, catches RZK, catches Next as well, because why not? Drop's going to get one as well. Tomajer tries desperately to play from the underpass position, but a lot of damage done, but it's not going to really make a difference. The last player remaining is the freaking AWP. I mean, damage done doesn't really factor in with a gun like this. It's all about getting those impactful kills. The bomb's busy being planted on the other side of the damn map. I mean, there's not too much more to be done in this round, unfortunately.
Well, you said if Dusty Roots don't get the last 2 rounds, that you don't have much faith on their T side. Unfortunately, they've already failed. So, yeah, this is going to be difficult. Venom Zera shoots men in the back of the head as well and drops the AWP. He can repurchase it into the next, he just can't have armor. He's quite literally $50 off buying AWP armor. Ouch. One more kill would have mean he could get AWP and Kevlar, but, you know, it doesn't. I don't know if it really matters as he's chilling on 4 kills and he's had no impact. Final round of the half for Dusty Roots. They will go into the second half, no matter what, unable to string a single round together, even if they do win a 4th here. It's all in isolation. And they have thrived when it's on these gimmick forced by rounds. Let's see if they can play ball once more.
Desperation mid-push play. Coward still gets a first, but true to form, it's a one and done. And
hey, last round was pretty nuts though. That double open on shore was kind of lit.
Ah, well, you know, every rule has an exception. Very split here at the moment. This has been quite cool because so we get those first couple of kills in towards mid, and then Red Canids just kind of hard chill, actually waiting to see if there's going to be more crazy aggression here, which is why they're playing this like really hesitant style. Watching him
made noise. Venom's Arrow made a big old step, but next, and you can see he's very aware of it, but he's just gone, okay, I'm going to clear out mid, I'm going to join up with my teammates, we're going to take all of this space. Issue is, where do they go from here? 3 players, they've got all this map control, and as one starts to push underpass, oh, this could be the play. Man, I've been very critical, but this is his moment for redemption.
Oh, MP9 at range, can't quite get those shots to connect, but Mayan from the underpass does get that first one. History is going to get a trade-off now. It's going to be forced off of his position, throws the bomb down. This time a bomb not getting caught in Palace. We've seen some crazy things, but Mayan and RZK in tandem, hand in hand, 2 versus 1. Venom Zera has to come up so huge. He's got a little bit of time to play with here, but not a whole hell of a lot. Unfortunately, turns at just the wrong time. RZK with the final kill of the round as we go into halftime.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. I can run this town. I can run this town.
Dusty Roots have a lifeline, but that's all it is. They hang on by the skin of their teeth going into this second half with a final round one on their defense, but on their opponent's map pick, they are going to have to create absolute miracles if they want to force it to a decider in this upper bracket grand final.
The Red Canids are so close, they can taste it, man. And as you said, the pressure is really on for these guys because they don't get to come back for Cup number 4. So last chance to get themselves into the regional final and have that opportunity for the Pro League, at least for 2025. Doolies rather, singing out beautifully. My favorite gun. So very like me to forget what my favorite gun is called. But the plant's going to come through now. The rotations need to come in from the Canids. Not quick enough to stop that bomb from being planted, unfortunately. Venom Zera now. Did he not? Okay. We're going to clear the smoke first. There we go. Get swung on. A little bit of an awkward one there. 2 go down. Chase the last one left alive. Bit of an uphill battle here. Has managed to sneak around, but gets caught completely unawares. Dusty Roots, a much-needed pistol.
A much-needed pistol for, simply put, just salvation. Like, that was a non-negotiable. They had to be winning out that round. So, they start at the minimum. Are they going to be able to expound off that? That is truly the main question. It's going to be a force buy straight in for Red Canids. They're going straight up onto these upgraded pistols. No rest for the Wicked. They're keeping all the pressure applied, all that pressure alive. And I don't blame them because they've got a lot of confidence in themselves that they can just finish off this series ASAP. But don't want to get too over eager. Don't want to dive headfirst in and get over complacent, because that is the worst case scenario.
Again, we've gone for the bigger weaponry force from the Red Canids. See if they can do the same thing that they did on the previous map. Already opening things up beautifully. History with these snipers has had some really solid moments so far in this series, but now he's left almost on his own. Oh my god, cowards. That's actually unreasonable. Does get traded out, however. History now waiting for those reinforcements to come in. Everything is so stressful, and unfortunately, he does get run over. Only 2 players left alive now. It is a 2v2 on the site, but they need to be aware that flank is coming in. Oh man, RZK is not even get a chance to activate, it feels like. Venom's there. What? Nasty little flick there. Alrighty. Really cool if he could recover that weapon, but he knows the time is not on his side. How have you done that? 1 versus 1. This is so doable. If he can flick this. Oh my god, Venom. It's unreal. It's actually unreal. It's not even just about the ones. It's just so crisp. It's just so clean.
I just can't believe he gets away with that. That's so amazing. Hats off. Take a bow. 1 versus 3. That's showing RZK. He should be a dead man walking, but somehow he survives. And from the ashes, Red Canids are rebirthed because Venom Zera, who is having a series to remember, just sends them into the spirit round, shatters their hopes and dreams. And this is just so classic for Dusty Roots. They can just never get a break. It's never going well for them. It's always Red Canids somehow winning out. Dusty Roots, they've kind of got rounds in consecutive manner now because they got the final round of the half and then the first round, the second half. But they literally can't win a round properly in the battlefield consecutively, which is mental.
It's definitely been a difficult showing for them. We see signs of life from time to time. I mean, Fraguti's having a freaking barn burner of a moment. RZK, unfortunately, not quite showing those same signs of life, but every now and then we do see some sparks flying through. And Venom Zero, after that multi-frag, is not going to be allowed to get anything more cheeky done here. Nice little double kill from the Dusty Roots. Opens up this site. The swing from Mayan is fantastic. And this should be a Dusty Roots round. Che will recover the AWP, and the Red Canids will simply back away. The heroics in the previous round, not to be repeated this time. Ooh, you're not going to get to keep that up, are you, friend? Nope. A little bit of spray down. The smoke to come through. Going to get shot in the back. Up. Not kept, as the case is.
No. Okay, so we might still have a little bit more to say in this series than maybe previously anticipated. Of all things as well, on the T side of Mirage is when they start stepping up. Tomijed, he's been wildly inconsistent. We've seen flashes of brilliance, and this is one of those instances where he takes the round by control. It's actually been very bizarre because it feels like every time he gets a kill, it's a round one for Dusty Roots. So if there is a possibility for Dusty Roots to complete a comeback, and maybe even complete the comeback for the whole series, it's going to take Tomijed just getting into that more consistent stride, as he has been playing very well this tournament. But alongside Mayan, both of them, who I expected to be performing way, way better, just simply aren't. And we're just seeing those isolated rounds. So it's all good for now. But as we get deeper onto Mirage, I just need to see more of what we just saw.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. I was getting ready to write Dusty Roots off in this series, but
10-5, let's just end it there. But no.
Like, no.
Force Buzz
What
though.
do they say?
Venom Zero.
Until it's over.
He's got a deagle.
I don't know if he replicates that, man. That felt like a little bit of a flash in the pan.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
of that level of prowess.
Yeah. That type of round is yeah, that's just one of those rounds.
Barrel of the gun. Oh, RZK.
Cowards. Had to disengage when he was being shot at. This round's pretty much over. History, though, that one kill almost starts to ask some questions. Jay's still got control of the B-bomb site, but as he rotates off, Tomijed walks up.
Spotting the barrel of the gun there was such a difference maker, but now RZK still kind of playing that mid-lurk hold. Unfortunately, there's so many avenues to look for. He's chosen the right one, it seems like, but there you go. The anchor's been lost, and that's going to be the call to disengage. It was good positioning here from RZK, looking to try and pad those stats a little bit, but unfortunately, not going to be given that opportunity this time around.
Yeah, this will just be an eco round the next 4 Red Canids, so we're actually seeing for really the first sort of time 2 rounds in a row run by Dusty Roots in active gameplay against the Rifles. First time in this whole series.
Jeez.
At 9-7 on the second map. So they're able to get it done. Red Canids forced onto an eco. RZK does actually die towards the end, so that means an AK can be saved, which would have otherwise been a Galil. I don't know how much that's going to matter. This is a full eco for Red Canids, but they do have Venom Zero with that saved AK, Amolo Flash Armor, History, saved A1S, with a bit of utility. It's just going to be a deagle on Cowers and then 2 flashes on drop. I can imagine maybe they're going to sit in connector and short and try use those flashes from drop to just force their way out and see if these USPs can act as maybe like human flashbangs for the Rifles. Wait, both Rifles are just going towards A together, and Venom Zero is being flashed in ramp, but it's too early. The execute's happening, and he's in their face. A second flashbang for drop.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Mayan. He just pre-fires the corner Venom Zero on the fadeaway, and that's now a 2-man advantage.
Venom Zero cannot be stopped. Deagle Rifle, never mind, he can be stopped. Apparently when his head peeks up and there's not much else to aim at, well, head's gonna get blown off, but he's done his job. He's done so much. He's given them a huge advantage into the round, and the gun can be recovered as well. And even if this is all they get away with in this round, it is a whole hell of a lot considering all they had was the 2 recovered rifles. Unfortunately now, the pivot comes into play. They start moving on over towards that B site. It's all going to be down to Cowards now. And the thing is, I don't think it's a last man standing type of scenario. I think it's get some information, throw down either a Molotov or a what's the word I'm looking for? Smoke.
He's got a smoke in his hand, but they're going
There it
short.
is.
What?
Huh.
Okay. This is
They
actually...
overcooked this?
No, this is the play. There's no one holding mid because they don't expect this. Why would you really? And it's going to be a full contact. Drop is kind of going back and forth and checking with a USP. If they just walk up short here, oh no, history starting to spot. But Smoke and Con, they get spotted. But the thing is, no one can do anything. Only just spam through the smoke and, well, I say only. Che gets a kill. Cowards in apartments. Is he going to get spotted? Yes, but the Deagle just connects, and I thought that was the play going up short. It was. The issue is they don't even ever really get onto the bomb site because of that spam through the smoke and because of the fast rotations.
It's too out in the open. There's too many, angles that can watch that mid position. And while Che only gets 1 kill, he peppers them down to the point where the 2 pistols that are on the B site just have to get 1 bullet. That's all it takes. It's all they need, and it's exactly what they get. Venom Zera did so much to kick that round off, but it's Che that helps to soften the prey up a little bit. That makes it a really winnable scenario for them. Double digits now for the Red Canids. Dusty Root's still able to buy in, but money is it's a bit of a problem now. They won a couple of rounds on the trot, but this is going to reset that loss streak bonus. So losing this round is going to put them back down into the dumps.
Actually, a sick round from drop to flash in there. He had 2 flashes. The first one gets Venom Zero around the corner. The second one went deep, and that's the main reason why Venom Zero was able to get 2. Speaking of drop, though, speaking of him with flashbangs, just pulls out his utility. That's a man advantage for Dusty Root very carelessly.
Bro was literally just standing out in the open. Like, nah, no one's gonna swing me now. Not at this exact precise moment. You're playing Counter-Strike, right? This game is all about the timings and... Oh my god, that...
Howie. Wait, Venom Zero's gone cleared.
Oh! He's managed to drop for Guti. Now they know where... Oh, Jesus, man.
Oh!
You're actually unfair. It's just unreasonable, man. 1 left on the site. He's scared. Oh, no, it was Cowards. Okay, fair enough. Venom Zero, I don't get to scream and shout about you any longer. Bomb's now lost on the site. Mayan feeling like he needs to make a play here. Because obviously the money's going to be a bit of a problem in that last round. But 1 versus 3, how much can you get done? Knows where Venom is. Has an inkling of where Cowards was. Cowards has spotted him out. So Venom's just going to hold that angle. And he will, in fact, get that 3rd kill on the round. Another just unreasonable multi-frag from the Star.
If this is the type of performance that Venom Zero is going to be bringing over to Budapest, then I am all for it. I'm all there behind the bandwagon of Red Canids and Dusty Roots. They're going to have to eco and play for an overtime. 5 rounds in a row they will need if they want to force it to OT. Whereas this is just going to be quite literally full Glocks. There is actually nothing else. And Venom Zera, he's just sitting there smacking his lips like, no way. Full ecos? No, please don't. My dream has come true. Unfortunately, he gets 2, but it still puts him to 21 kills. So he's sitting pretty dandy as 3 AKs get carried over. Is this the CT side or a T side? Because they've all got AK-47s. They actually all had AKs. Look at that.
And I think he's so consistent. I think that's the scariest thing about Venom Zero, because even on the first map, he was also putting up outrageous numbers, getting insane multi-frags. Like, he's just been a major thorn in the side throughout this series from start to finish. It's really impressive to see, but for the Dusty Roots, unfortunately, that could be them dropping down into the depths below. Gaming gladiators waiting in the wings for whoever loses out in this series. Red Canids just need this 1 round to finish it off, but Fraguti has shut down Venom Zera, and that gives them an opportunity. No multi-fragging machine still on the board, but the rest of the team are no slouches. Mayan, unfortunately, will put history back down. stay in the 3 versus 3, but look at the bomb. The bomb's gone, bro. It's in Narnia. It's on the B site. That's been cleared by RZK. The 3 forces of the CT side are still chilling over towards the A site. They're convinced that this is where it's going to be. Once that bomb gets planted, however, they still have every possibility, every opportunity to go for this retake. And honestly, why wouldn't you? Money in the bag. You want to try and push this as far as you possibly can. It's only 2 players remaining. Both of them full HP now. So it is going to take a little bit more, unless it's nasty headshots.
RZK thinks he's cleared short of drop. This is a perfect position for him to strike.
Pulled the attention now. There's that human flash, but where's the follow-up? No! Che gets taken down and dropped. He's gonna get seen. Oh, dear Lord. You've got to use the utility that you have, even if it is a low HP player. If you're gonna bait him, bait him.
A crazy round coming out from Dusty Roots. Fundamentally, it kind of goes awry. The A defense gets fended off. They ward off the attackers, but as you mentioned, that bomb, it goes very much elsewhere. And a pretty awkward, I'm not gonna lie, that felt like Red Canids. Drop had the advantage. RZK thought he cleared it, but no, they all just kind of walk out to their grave. No util was available. A little bit awkward. Nade's stuck under the desk. I haven't seen that one before. Luckily, they pick it back up, and the T side defaulting towards mid, and already you can see Mayan is directing himself with that bomb towards the A bomb site, where a first at a utility is being dropped. Drop spots them in connector, and the gig is up. They know this is going to be an A hit.
4 rounds now. We've been in this position before. Dusty Roots, we've seen them try to battle back from here, but it was indeed this exact scoreline where they lost previously. This time around, we're not looking to replicate the sins of the past. Cowards, however, a very quick trade-off here to keep things a little bit more even, and History is still in a solid position. Seems unlikely they're going to be able to get him off of that position. They do 2 flashes available, so should be able to make that happen. RZK has lost his life over towards the B site. History's get pushed off of his spot.
Wait, bomb's ramp.
Okay, going for a little bit more of a careful play, I suppose. You don't want to lose the bomb on the site if things do start to go awry, but now they do have control of it, so they'll start pushing in. Dash comes out, not able to garner anything off the back of that. Bomb's going to get planted. And yes, we are just waiting for Cowards to get into position here. And once that happens, this should be a very decisive retake for Gucci. He's going to have to really pay off in this position. Is he going to check this close corner? Is he going to have it? Oh my god, he turns away. He's watching for it, but unfortunately loses out in the duel. Mayan 1 versus the world. Everything to play for. Spots out Che, but Che wins the battle. The defuse to come through, and it's yet another 13-8. Red Canids taking this series 2-0.
Red Canids, they've placed 4th. They've got a bronze medal, and now at a minimum in the 3rd South America ESL Challenger Cup in Season 50, they secure at least a silver medal. But as they're not competing in Cup 4, it's imperative that come Sunday in that grand final, they secure a place in the regional